Right, I'm thrilled to say the two stars of that brand new ad, Jacinta Price, the new Shadow Minister, and her husband Colin, join me now. Jacinta, congrats on the new appointment. I know many of my viewers were barracking hard for you. We all think you'll be a game changer in the role. The timing of this new ad, I reckon, is fantastic because you're going to get around the country and a lot of people from this ad are going to understand your story better. It's a highly personal. It can't have been an easy decision to let the cameras into your life and open up like that. What made you agree?
Well, I think, you know, for our family and for growing up the way that I have in such a blended family, in a community like Alice Springs where the whole world comes through Alice Springs and we have, of course, you know, a traditional culture in Alice Springs, it made sense to tell the story as to, you know, what makes us Australian, because everybody's got a blended background of some sort. And you know, for us, this is very personal. It is very personal, and as a family, it's very personal. And I think Australians need to understand just what's being asked, the magnitude of this ask of Australians going forward.
Colin, people at home need to know that you're a muso by trade, and that was some of your beautiful music playing out in the background there. But yes, you go on the stage to play your music, but going on the stage as you are in this little vision, to tell a story about your family, to actually weigh in on something as important as this voice debate, that's a brave move. What tipped you over the edge and got you to agree?
I guess the thing that tipped me over the edge with this, Peter, is the fact that, you know, I'm a new Australian, and that, you know, with being a new Australian, there's a lot of things I've had to learn about Australia, good things and bad things. And, you know, being married to someone like Jacinta, I've seen the good and the bad that people have to offer. And I've got sons, and I don't want our sons to feel that there's been a blended family. One side is more important than the other. We bring our kids up to look at the world as them taking every opportunity that can come their way. And I just don't like the idea of colour being that main point, culture being that main point where our boys are told that they're different from one another when they're not.
Colin Jacinta spoke in that video, and I think he comes out of it as a bit of a quiet hero, but he spoke there about being quite protective of you, having to put up with stuff that's said about you, things that he regards as false. Some of it's pretty vicious. I'm going to put a couple to air. This has come from just your announced appointment the other day of the Shadow Ministry. This is from Rachel Withers. She's the contributing editor at The Monthly. She says in 96, John Howard kicked Pauline Hanson out of the Liberal Party for making racist comments about Indigenous Australians. In 2023, she says, Peter Dutton has appointed Hanson's pick to the Indigenous portfolio. Really makes you think. Now, that's about as outrageous as it goes, Jacinta.
Yeah, look, she doesn't know me. She doesn't know my family. She doesn't know my community. She's clearly out of step with the everyday quiet Australians, the quiet Aboriginal Australians as well. People are sick of being pulled apart in this country. We need to come back together, and that's only going to be done not through hatred. It's going to be done through love. It's going to be done through everyone doing their part. It's going to be done through keeping us together as a nation and not dividing us along the lines of race. And look, I take my hat off to my husband. I know it's a big deal for him to be part of this. I know how passionate he is as a new Australian to this country, how passionate he is about this country because of the opportunities it's given our family. And I know that it's difficult sometimes for him to see the nastiness that you know comes at me. But I couldn't do what I've done without his incredible love and support, and of course the support of our family, the support of our children as well. So I'm very, very grateful.
Hey, who's the beautiful singer with you there accompanying your guitar? Colin, who's that?
Yeah, that was a song Jacinta and I did a while ago. But we decided there was only room for one politician and one musician in the family. So Jacinta went down, and we can basically see that she made the right choice. And while she's making those choices, I can go away and follow what I'm doing. It's just that sometimes I get really anxious because when people find out who my wife is, they can be quite judgmental and they can make decisions and assumptions about who I am. And with that, we have to juggle our lifestyle. But I just want to say, hi, wife. It's the first time I've really seen you since been appointed. So congratulations. I'm really happy. I'm excited about what's coming. And Peter, it's nice to see you as well. You know, I won't miss you, you know.
We almost need, I think, subtitles there for some of that. But anyway, Australians get the point that you haven't seen her since she's been appointed to the new role, and you're very proud of her. Just quickly on some new stuff, Jacinta, you made some pretty tough comments today that we're likely to see out of all of this false Aboriginality claims, false indigeneity claims, and you referenced the case in South Australia, don't you?
Mm. Yeah, look, absolutely. You know, there's been many Aboriginal people who are really concerned about those who falsely identify as Indigenous. We've seen dramatic increases in, you know, the population of Australians that identify as Indigenous within our census over the last few years. And there has been a 3-point test that one has to claim, one has to be of Aboriginal descent, then they have to be recognised by their own community as being Indigenous as well, and I can't remember what the third part of that test was, but there's a 3-point test.
They themselves have to say they're Aboriginal.
Are still skewing. That's right. They themselves have to say they're Aboriginal, but it skews the way that we look at Indigenous statistics in the country as a result of that. And in South Australia, with their new voice being legislated, the government there has basically said, oh, you can just claim, you can just make a declaration and say that you're Indigenous. and you know, that's what I said to the Premier. I said, well, you can bet that your population of Indigenous Australians in South Australia is about to go through the roof. I mean, why wouldn't you, when you can be part of this whole new voice thing, when you can put your hand up to be part of it and or vote for a representative? Why wouldn't you do that? Because, I mean, humans are humans. We're seeing it being done with the 3-point test so far, which is part of, which is recognised federally and state by state. But it's a big concern going forward, and there's a lot of Aboriginal people concerned about those who falsely identify.
Jacinta and Colin, I have to leave it there. I could talk to you all night. Colin, you are a brave man coming on the program, but I loved the full 9 minutes I've watched. I've only been able to play 5 minutes tonight. I want to encourage everyone to go to the Fair Australia website, fairaustralia.com.au, sign up, get their information, look at the whole video. But thank you, Colin, and thank you, Jacinta. That's fantastic. And it is Jacinta singing. You'll get to hear her sing if you listen all the way through. It's your beautiful voice.